You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking because always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the Joy of Living podcast with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy, because you know that on this show, we talk about the three fundamentals of life and use these three fundamentals. The result is you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? So let's just jump right in because you are going to be rocked. This is I'm so really happy that we're going to have Ira Dean with us, but I won't tell you. So just get ready, buckle up, and experience something special. Okay, let's talk about the three fundamentals of life because these are what makes a difference for you. The three fundamentals are, number one, your life has purpose. And we lead a purpose-driven life. Number two happens. In this case, a good number two. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for Make a Difference. You lead a purpose-driven life and make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example. Right now, our show is carried around the world. 515,000 plus people listening right now. By the time we bring on Ira, probably have 530,000 people. If you ask anybody, what does www stand for? Invariably it says do the internet. Now, factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world is a positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. www stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? WHETA. And a big thank you and a tip of the hat to wonderful Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral and not just touch tens of millions, hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And every time you hear the opening bars of What a Wonderful World, what do you do right away? You can't help it. You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you're going to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. Let me tell you a quick story. It's about me. Imagine, if you can't, I'm standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And in the evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down. And it was not the result of an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease that took over my body and rendered me quadriplegic. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital, 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. I had braces on both my legs from my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. Can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. You hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. All because of one word. One word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you, I am privileged to speak to people all over the world on my podcast every week, every month, maybe 2 million people. And I do in-person events, but very rarely because I don't travel much. I live right outside of Las Vegas. Hello, Las Vegas. I did a recent webinar or seminar, actually, in person, 1,127 people. And I'm telling the story about Barry Shore and seeing miracles in life every day. And some people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been out for hours. I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water, drink? Do you have food? Do you have place to sleep? Do you have family? Do you have friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. And the proof, simple proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full, to live exuberantly, like Ira Dean. And what you're going to learn a lot. This is just so special. I want to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me, and a couple of weeks ago, she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a fabulous acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. We're going to do a lot of rethinking today. And when you rethink things, you shift your perspective. Now, I got to tell you, I've been working with people for more than 4.5 decades. And when I talk about shift, you got to keep that F in place or the other stuff happens, right? You want to shift your perspective just a little bit, and then you can internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will defines your path and your trajectory in life. Now, before we bring on wonderful Ira, I just want to warn him and all the tens of thousands of people that come every week that are new, that I do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word, and I do it because the shock value and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, are love, life, hope, play, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter world is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N, capital S. So after the show, you see your family and friends with a twinkle in your eyes, smile on your face, point your finger, say, F-U, everybody. You got their attention. Add capital N, capital S. Where'd you get that? I listen to Barry Shore. He had on Ira Dean. Wait till you hear what I'm going to share with you. Get their attention. Now you can share. So before we bring on amazing Ira, I want to urge everybody to use the 2 most powerful words in English language 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. You'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. These 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. KIND is a fabulous acronym. It stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. No one that gets me moving more than wonderful Ira Dean. And then we just had an interesting situation. And here, he's back. Keep inspiring noble deeds and nobody more than wonderful Ira Dean.
Very sure.
Ira Dean.
How you doing? How you doing, my friend?
Okay, well, this is just so much fun because, first of all, I love Ira's music. And by the way, everybody, don't take notes. Everything you want to know about Ira and all the things we're going to discuss today, it's going to be in show notes. Just experience it, lean in and feel it. Because that's what music's all about, right? And we're going to be doing wide-ranging discussion about life and deep, passionate stuff about Ira, about being married, about Charlie Daniels and maybe Ted Nugent. I mean, stuff that it really touches the core of what America is about. And when I say America, I don't mean just the physical geographic place called the United States. America is a mindset. And thank God we're spreading our mindset throughout the world. So no matter where you live, you're being touched by this great energy that is called freedom, independence, love, harmony, joy. Am I right about that, Ira?
100%. 100%.
So if I started telling everybody all the things that he does, take the rest of the show, I'm going to give you 3 data points. Number 1, Ira Dean, unless you've been living under a rock and such, is a great, well-known, fabulous songwriter, musician, singer. That's 1. Number 2, just got married. After more than half a century of not being married, he's married. And that was the smartest thing he ever did in his life. Just happened a few months ago. He just had, by the way, a birthday, August 23rd. We're in September 2nd. So he's, I think you're 60 years old, plus minus, something like that.
Minus, but we'll go with that.
Okay. You're right. 55, 56. Okay. And the third thing is that he released recently a tribute to one of the great beings of the United States of America, and certainly the music industry, and what America stands for, and that is remarkable Charlie Daniels. And we're going to talk about, let's just jump right in and talk about your journey, because people have been listening to us for a while, and thank God we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And all we do is we ask you, just share this with 5 people. You want to share with 50 or 100, great, just 5 people. That way we can touch 2.5 million people around the planet, because we've got over 500,000 listening. The issue that I want to just mention is the word joy stands for Journey of You. Isn't that a great acronym? Journey of You.
That's great.
So there
Man,
you have it, Ira.
I can listen to you talk all day.
We want to hear you. I want to hear you talk. I want to hear you sing. I love the smile. Those of you who are not just listening but watching, I mean, you sing. I told Ira off camera, I don't like him. And one of the reasons everybody can tell is because he has all the hair that I used to have. Okay, fine. It's it's a great gig. So let's just talk about your journey. Let's talk about mom, because mom, when you talk about country music, there ain't nothing more important than mom. Let's talk about dad. Let's talk about your siblings, especially your brother, and then we'll shift to Nashville. But give us some idea of how you grew up, of course, rich and a big estate and all that kind of stuff.
I grew up total opposite. My mother and father got divorced when I was young, and my mother raised all 5 of us by herself. And she was a great woman. We lost her 2 years ago, and she was my one of my best friends growing up. Funny, golly, she was funny. I think I got my sense of humor from my mother. And she used to come to my mother and father both. I was in a very supportive family. Musically, they came to all my shows separately. If I played anywhere around, they would come to my shows. They're very supportive of my songwriting, of me bringing a bunch of musicians over and jamming in the basement, which isn't a pleasant thing when you're starting out. But my mom was, she was my rock. She was my foundation. And she, I don't think she ever met a stranger. And the only person, there's very few people that just love everybody. My mother loved everybody. If she could give the world a hug, she would. I mean, she just welcomed it.
She is giving the world a hug.
Yes, she is.
Through Ira and your sibling. In other words, you are the fruit of an amazing tree. As I mentioned to you prior, MOM is a great acronym that stands for Maker of Miracles. And that's what she did. She produced miracles. Because whenever you're singing, whenever you're playing, you're channeling her.
Yeah. Oh, she's with me on that stage. So is my father. We lost him in 2017. And dad was the musical one out of my family. He played on a radio show when he was like 13 years old in North Carolina. Met my mother. They got married way too early, and he had to like put the music on the back burner and join the Air Force to support a family. And but my dad was again a #1 fan. I bought him the house across the street from mine just to be close to him, and he would show up to every show. He would help me unload. Sometimes he was a little too critical of my shows, and he would grade me like a school teacher, and he would tell me when my songs were good or when they needed work. And he was one of the few people that could listen to my songs and really give me an honest critique without hurting my feelings, because my dad was, I could play the rest of my life and probably wouldn't be as good as my father. He was a great musician and a very man and a wonderful poet.
That's very good. What was his axe? Was he also a guitarist?
He was a guitar player too. And
by the way, aren't you impressed that I know about axe?
Yes, he was an axe. He was an axe man.
Very good.
Yeah. And he drove it into my head. I remember being coming up from divorced parents, spending weekends with my father. I remember one time I was 12 years old, staying at my dad's house, and he woke me up. I overslept. It must have been 9 a.m. And he woke me up at 12 years old and said, "Have you written a song yet today? You need to get up." And he cracked that whip, and I got up and we wrote songs, and that was my dad. He's like, while you're resting, somebody's getting better, so you need to keep up.
Woo!
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
Let's talk about songwriting. I don't write songs. I'm sure that 98.7% of everybody's listening don't write songs. I mean, that first of all, it's a skill. Second of all, what are you doing when you're writing a song? Are you a storyteller? Are you just trying to get people's attention? What is the if there is a nugget in this idea about songwriting?
If there's a nugget, is just to make people feel. You know, a lot of people don't feel when they hear a song. You know, I think people don't go to concerts to hear perfection. They go to get moved and to feel something and feel connected to somebody else. And us as human beings, we just gotta find that common thread and try to write about it, whether it be love or loss or lonely or finding somebody, leaving a town and venturing out on your own or going back home, any of those things, or just blowing off steam on a weekend. We're all the same person. We all want the same things in life. And it's just finding that connection with somebody. And I wrote with Ronnie Dunn of Brooks and Dunn today. We tried to do this earlier, and out at his farms, there's no reception. And we were just writing honest, pure emotion, just trying to connect. And I think everybody wants to connect with somebody and feel like they're not alone going through a situation. And so I think as a musician or a songwriter, it's your job to let people know that they're not the only one.
So let's talk about, since we're being very contemporary, one of the apparently great songstresses of the world who commands a lot of attention, Taylor Swift. Now, I'm 76 years old. I'm a regular guy, so I'm not a Swiftie, right? Almost by definition. And yet, I think that what you just said is exactly the key. She has been able to touch and feel the very essence of younger girls around the world by the tens of millions, hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
And that's really what you're talking about. Your songs, thank God, do touch people.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope that's my goal. It's funny you say it. You know, I used to be in a band called Trick Pony in the early 2000s on Warner Brothers, and Taylor Swift was our opening act. And
I can hear that. Interesting enough. So first of all, like, this bizarre, and yet I've listened to Trick Pony, and I can hear that there's some sort of symmetry, and
I
yet
used to stand on stage and watch that little girl get up there with a guitar and just play, just her on a bar stool, and you can't deny her songwriting ability. She is truly a wonderful poet for the younger generation. And I was sitting there, I was blown away with her songwriting. I was like, this girl's writing this stuff at this age. And, fast forward, she's selling out stadiums and doing great. And I wish her the best. But you can't, you can be a Swiftie, you can not like her, you can like her, but you cannot argue the fact she can write a song. She is a wonderful songwriter.
I got to tell you something, Ira. First of all, I'm just so happy we're doing this. I'm humbled and honored, and had no idea we were going to mention this. And look at, she also at her, let's say, later age, although not that age, not young, that old like you. I mean, older. Getting married now and making a difference. And
Yeah.
the feelings that she brought out and what she would do with her music allowed her to get to a place where she could embrace true love. Because that's
Yes.
what you did recently. You embraced true love.
Well, it took a long time. I think every musician, every songwriter is we're kind of like dented soup cans on the bargain bin shelf of life, and it takes a long time for us to let somebody in. It takes a long time to actually heal and be ready for somebody to come in, and it took me a lot longer than most people. And I found my wife, and when the first time we talked, I told her, I said, I hope you don't want to get married because I'm not the marrying kind. And she was like, that's fine. And she was patient. And little by little, she fixed my dings and dents, you know. And then 4 years later, I looked at her. I said, I never thought I'd say this, but will you marry me?
Wait a minute. On that high note, we have people that love our show, sponsors, or else you don't get to watch all this stuff. And we wouldn't have them on if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. Don't go away. We're going to hear more about this remarkable, fabulous love story right after this brief message. More Ira. Don't go away. Good.
Hello, skincare connoisseurs. If you think you have tried everything in skincare, you are going to love what I am about to tell you. I'm pharmacist Benjamin I. Fuchs. I'm a dermatology pharmacist. And what I've discovered in my compounding pharmacy after decades of working with patients with skin traumas and skin diseases is the missing link in skincare is topical essential nutrition. And because of this missing link, we're not maximizing the potential of topical skincare. We're leaving skin beauty and skin health on the table. And that's why I formulated my Truth Treatments. Listen, the skin's an organ. It needs and wants and craves nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, and plant-derived minerals, and now it can get them in super high concentrations in my Truth Treatments. Originally formulated for dermatologists and their patients, now they're available to you. Check them out today at truthtreatments.com, and I know you are going to love the truth.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking. She's always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Ira Dean, and you've heard his songs. He's talking about connection and making things, how people feel. And he's talked about, we had his big gig band in the 2000s that the opening act was Taylor Swift. She's now getting married. He took a lot longer. And thank God, just a few months ago, he got married. So we're in the process of talking about what it means to let people in. Before we go back to the romantic part of you and your wife, I'd like to hear, if you'd be so kind, about talking about Charlie Daniels. Because again, I'm 76, so I've been around. I've been a Charlie Daniels fan for more than half a century. I mean, he was a special being, but I didn't know him. I knew him through his music. You knew him.
Charlie was unapologetic. Man, I wrote a song about him called Jesus and John Wayne because he reminded me of a little bit of Jesus and a little bit of John Wayne wrapped up in this little Santa Claus body. And he loved America. He loved, God, family, country. He also loved the words written in red. He knew right from wrong. And if he saw you doing wrong, he would tell you there's a better way. And that's what he did with me when he didn't have to. My band opened up for Charlie way back in the day. And we got done playing. And his road manager said, Charlie wants to see you in the dressing room. And so I went and was going to get my band members to go meet Charlie. And he goes, no, he just wants to talk to you. And back in the day, I was not I was very broken and I was hiding it well. Hold on, this little thing came up on my screen. There we go. I self-medicated and I leaned on alcohol and prescription drugs, and they took its toll on me. And I thought I was pulling it off well, and I thought I was hiding it from everybody. And when his road manager came back to get me, and I went into the dressing room, and there was Charlie sitting there, and ready for the show, cowboy hat on, big belt buckle, size of a Volvo radiator, and he started talking to me, and we're both from North Carolina, and we started talking about North Carolina, and he kept looking at me. And I guess he saw my hand shaking because it was about time for a drink or something because I was going through the withdrawals. And he took my hand, and he said, son, I know that look in your eye, and I've seen those hands shake before. And he goes, I want to tell you there's a better way. He goes, you haven't drank anything I haven't drank. You haven't taken anything I haven't taken. And he goes, do you mind if I pray for you? And most people will, wait later till you leave and they'll pray for you. And I said, no, sir, I don't mind at all. And he took his cowboy hat off and took a knee and put hands on me. And he said a prayer right then and there. He prayed for me to get strength and see a better way and love myself, which I wasn't doing. And years later, I opened up for him as a solo act, and I could see him watching me from the side of the stage. And I kept looking over there and looking over there. And I got done with the show, and I walked up to him, and I had been sober for quite a few years at that time. And he grabbed me by my shoulders, and he looked me in the face, and he goes, "Son, I can see you now." He goes, "Look," he said, "Look at you shine." And yeah, he didn't have to do that. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little teary thinking about it. He was a good man, and he probably saved my life. He was one of the few that threw a life preserver in the water for me, and in troubled waters. And thank God he did, because there is a better way. And if there's anybody out there that's struggling, man, if I could do it, anybody can.
Charlie Daniels was a very talented musician, very dedicated person. As you said, loved America, loved his wife. They were married for more than Miss Hazel for more than half a century. And he, as he told you, he did it all. He went through it. It wasn't as if he said, "Well, no, I'd never touch that stuff." He knew the devil. He understood it. And the matter of fact, one of his greatest songs, right? The devil went down to Georgia.
Yes.
That was a great Charlie Daniels song. Matter of fact, there's a line. Okay, I'm going to read it because I remember it, and I used to sing it, but I'm going to just say it right now. Then you tell me if it resonates with you. I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own.
Yes.
Long-haired country boy.
Yep. Leave this long-haired country boy alone. You dang right. What a good man. What a great man. What a true American poet too. I mean, he told it, a great story from an hardworking American.
So here you create this great video and CD, and now you're building a movement, as it were. What would Charlie Daniels do?
Yes.
Is it resident?
I think about that all the time. I mean, with a world today of so much separation and so much hate and anger, and you gotta, and so much judgment. Like if you live a different life, there's so much judgment, and it's just like I think about that all the time. And what would Charlie Daniels do? What would he say? And so I wrote that song. That song came about. I wrote it with a buddy of mine, Jeffrey Steele. Me and him have had a long history of writing great songs together. And I was driving down the road, and I got flipped off by somebody. It wasn't in a Prius. It was in a white Porsche, little Porsche thing, and he road raging. I guess he didn't like my jacked up truck or my Hank Jr. cranking or whatever. I don't know. But he flipped me off. And I went to Jeff. I said, "Man, I got flipped off on the road today." I said, "There's so much hatred. Everybody's angry about something." And so that's what inspired What Would Charlie Daniels Do? And Jeffrey knew Charlie also. And so we started writing this song, and it all started with that opening scene, but we changed it to a Prius. And just writing about what would Charlie Daniels do in this life. It's like, just leave me alone, man. Let me do my thing. At my age, I'm too old to debate. I know right from wrong. I know light from dark. I'm not going to debate you on how I live. This is how I live, and this is what I believe in. And as long I think I'm doing the right thing. I really do. But I'm not going to try to push it on you, and I'm not going to debate you on why I'm doing it this way. So we wrote this song, and the second verse came up, and I had just become friends with Ted Nugent. And I was a huge Ted Nugent fan growing up.
Everybody, don't write anything down. It's in the show notes. Ted Nugent is another great American, wonderful being, right? I mean, look at that.
Yes.
Look at the smile on Ira's face. It says Ted.
He is Nugent. A handful. He should have his own reality show. I mean, he's God, family, country, Constitution. I mean, be an asset, be in the asset column. I mean, that's all of his things he believes in. And I said, man, I got to put Ted Nugent in this song on the second verse. And so I wrote, I'm one of them don't give a damn, live off the land Ted Nugent fans because I'm a avid hunter. I eat organic. I call it going to God's grocery store. I try to stay in the woods as much as possible. And so I put them in it and I sent it to Ted, not even knowing that Ted was great friends with Charlie. I had no idea.
I knew it.
And,
Okay.
and so it comes full circle. I sent it to Ted. Ted calls me up immediately and goes, I've got to play on this song. And I was like, well, you got it. So I drove down to Waco, and then he starts talking about doing the volunteer jams with Charlie and how much Charlie meant to him. And I was like, this is coming from above making things happen at this point. And so we shot the video down in Waco too. And I saw the pictures of Ted and Charlie together. And Charlie's Ted's such a good guy. His wife and Shemaine they're just wonderful people, just great folks.
Just folks. See that again, part of what's happening here in the Ira Dean world and his great new album, I Got Roads, is just folks. And it's something that is the essence of the American experience and needs to be disseminated as we're doing right now. And that's why I really, as I said, I'm so humbled and honored that you're here because we're channeling what I call a cog. A cog is a channel of goodness, a child of God. That's what a cog is. So right now, we're doing this. we're cognitive of all the things we're talking about because you're bringing in great beings. You got mom, you got dad, you got brother Billy, you got Charlie Daniels and wonderful Miss Hazel. And again, it's all about the American experience, which is rooted in, like you said, God's grocery store, organic food. It's about patriotism, self-reliance, faith. I would like you to speak, if you'd be so kind, right now, since Charlie was your mentor and enabled him to see you. He could see you. He could see through you, into you, and that helped you move away from the stuff that was the mask, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You were hiding it well, and you were able to get out behind the mask and reveal you. And tell us about what it means to have this moral clarity.
I wished I was like this my whole life. I wish I could go back in time and tell the young me to there's a better way. But I don't think you know true light until you've seen darkness.
I need to interrupt you. Is that going to be a title of a song?
What?
There's a better way.
No, but it will be now.
There's a better way.
Yes.
All you need to do is just say, I love you.
Get it, Barry. Get it, Barry. No, I really think, you don't know true love until you felt the deepest pain. And I don't think you know lightness till you feel the darkest of dark. And there's a great songwriter named Chris Wallen who's written some wonderful songs. He was the best man at my wedding, and he gave me probably the best speech of my life. He knew me back when I was young and crazy. And he got up and he did this wonderful speech. And at the end of it, and we've written it since then, he said, I want to thank God for Ira's demons that led him to his angels. And
it's not just a great line, it's so real.
Yes. I don't think I would be this clear and this connected to the universe and connected to my higher power, the man upstairs, unless I didn't look in the devil's eye and feel, I had the demons, and I it took all that for me to turn it all over. It took
okay. Can I give you an insight into something that I think is going to blow your mind?
What?
Let's take a look at your last name. D-E-A-N. The first two letters are the first letters of the word demons. The next two letters are the first two letters of the word angels.
Oh my gosh. I have never thought about that.
I'm only doing because you just mentioned what he said.
Wow.
There is demons and angels. Your name enabled you to go on a path that was really tough to come to that point where there's a better way and to see the demons and the angels and arise as Ira.
Well, that's pretty much, you're right. That did blow my mind. I'm not going to lie.
That's pretty cool.
That's, I'm going to have to call my buddy Chris and tell him that. I've never thought about that.
You have to call up Brother Billy and tell him.
I will do it. I'll do it.
Well, and tell Jennifer too.
Yeah, I definitely lived up to my last name. So
yeah, I mean, that's, you ripped it apart and opened it up, and Charlie comes in and says, there's a better way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, with your permission, of course, meeting Jennifer.
Yes.
I mean, here's a, you were not married for all these years.
Forever. I was anti-marriage.
And by the way, without even a prospect of becoming married, because you're just not the marrying type. It's not going to happen for you. I mean, look at, this is where I live and this is it. I'm not bad. I got a better way. However, marriage is another step in the process of true faith and commitment. In my opinion, I'm married 47 years, so I can speak a little bit about it. Commitment and faith.
I was a train wreck. And my rule was, I don't want to marry anybody who'd want to marry this. I mean, they got to be crazy. But I met Jennifer by accident. My buddy Chris Wallen, there's a songwriting club here, a bar or a showcase kind of thing called the Bluebird. And it's on TV show all the time. And my buddy Chris called me up and said, hey, man, I need you to cover for me tonight. And I said, what do you need? He goes, I need you to go play. He goes, I'm sick. I got the flu. And I was like, where do you need me to play? And he said, the Bluebird. And I didn't want to play the Bluebird. Bluebird's kind of one of those be quiet songwriter coffee lounges, which is great, but it's just not my cup of tea. I like rowdiness. I like people screaming. I like applause. I said, please don't make me do that, Chris. He said, yeah, please do it. So I said, I'll do it for you. He's my best friend. And I got there and I played the show. Little did I know my wife was in town with her family. They had bought a charity auction item at a charity to go to the Bluebird in Nashville. She's from down in Florida. They never saw my face.
Let's put this in perspective now. A family in Florida at a charity event gets a ticket for a place in
Nashville
called the Bluebird. And that.
Yeah. And to beat all of end alls, she never saw my face. Her seats were behind my head 5 feet. And so she takes this picture of the back of my head with the Bluebird logo above my hat. And she posts it. Matter of fact, she didn't even know my name. She had to ask her son. And she posts it and she tagged me in it. And it came up on my Instagram feed. And so I reached out to her. I said, can I please use this photo for my socials? And she said, sure, have at it. So I did. And I said, why didn't you say hi at the show? And she said, I was there with my mom and my dad and my kids. And we, you seem busy. And I said, well, I feel bad taking your photo. Can I buy a glass? I don't drink no more, but I'd be happy to buy a glass of wine if you're still in town. Okay. So we got together and I bought her a glass of wine. We just talked like old friends. We just talked and talked and talked and talked. And she left town and we just kept talking. I'd call her every day. And we talked and it just felt normal. It just felt like real. And so one day I called her up and said, what are you doing this weekend? She says, nothing. I said, I got a weekend off. Let's get together. And she said, you're in Florida. I mean, I'm in Florida and you're in Tennessee. And I said, what's halfway in between? And she said, I don't know, New Orleans. And I said, you fly to New Orleans and I'll meet you there. And so we spent the weekend in New Orleans and I haven't spent a day away from her since.
Love is so beautiful.
Isn't it?
Love is a great acronym. It stands for living on vibrant energy, living on the vibrational plane. Okay,
I don't know how,
I'm gonna
I
ask
don't
you.
know how I went this long without it.
Yeah, well, the good Lord knows your life perfectly, Ira. And he said, this is your schedule, and you'll when you get it, you'll understand it, and then you'll want to long for it even more.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have people who love us. We're going to go to commercial break. Don't worry, you've got more Ira on the other side of this. Don't go away. It's too much fun. Opportunity. What an opportunity. I'm going to use 2 4-letter words right now. Free gift. Free gift. Yes, you can have a copy of my best-selling book, The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, the ebook version for absolutely free. All you have to do is send an email to me, Barry, Barry, at barryshore.com, and in the heading, the subject line, just write free gift. It's as easy as that. This is a life-changing, life-enhancing opportunity. Barry at barryshore.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free gift. Do it now. Take the action. Make it happen right now. Best wishes. Bye. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. Ira Dean, talking about love, talking about life, talking about demons and angels. What would Charlie Daniels do? All of that here, right now. Now, I would ask him to sing and play. However, that's not what this particular show is about. I will, though, and let's go deeper into your new collection, which is I Got Roads. And what is it for you that I Got Roads talks about? Is it love only? Is it struggle? Is it the journey?
I got called from my buddy Noah Gordon. I just got done producing Aaron Lewis's last 2 albums, Afraid with Both Ends and The Hill. And we had a #1 song on there called Am I the Only One? And things blew up. And anyways, Noah called me up one day, and he had started a record label, ventured on Warner Brothers. And he said, when are you going to do a record of your own? And I thought he was joking. And I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I want to sign you and you come out of retire. I thought I was retired. He goes, you need to come out. You need to tell your story. And I said, the only way I would do this is if every song was like a chapter in my life, the good, the bad, the broken, the blessed. Everything's got to be a chapter. And so it's from the drinking years to the sober years to losing my family to finding Jennifer, my wife, finding love, to every chapter. I wanted it all out there. I wanted every song to not just be a song, but a part of my life. And he said, okay. And I said, and with that, I want to record with guys that have changed my moral compass to the better musically, a musical compass. Anybody that inspired me musically, I wanted on this record that I haven't recorded with yet, like Ronnie Dunn, Vince Gill. Me and Vince have been trying to record together for years. Steve Ferroni from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Ted Nugent, Gretchen Wilson, Uncle Cracker, David Lee Murphy, Gary Allen. I mean, all these people that have been in the trenches with me through the good, the bad, the broken, the blessed. And we've never made music together. And we've written songs together, but we never recorded. So every song is a chapter of my life. And everybody on that album, including the players, have been with me through the thick, the thin, the good, the bad, the blessed, the broken.
And how is it being received?
It's being received. I'm shocked how it's being received. I mean, it's going great. I would have never thunk it. And I thank Noah for talking me into it. I thank my wife for actually, she was the one who said, you need to do this. I needed to do it because it helped purge some feelings that needed to come out that I was hanging on to. So this album's been a blessing in more ways than one.
And is it video as well as audio?
There's videos in it. Matter of fact, the What Would Charlie Daniels Do? We just had a #1 party for that. Me and Ted Nugent. Ted got to celebrate his first #1 since the '90s with Damn Yankees, I think. We had the #1 selling video in all formats over Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga. We had the #1 selling video.
You should
So,
send a little note to Taylor and say, "Do you remember when?"
yeah, yeah. So it's been a great um, it's been a crazy ride, and it seems like God's got a plan. You look, when you're going through life, you just think it's just random stuff until you stop 100 years down the road and look back, and it's like a perfectly put together puzzle.
Oh, wait a minute. This is so important we just said, because this is really Charlie Daniels stuff. It is a perfect puzzle because God doesn't make junk.
No,
He's directing in the most beautiful way. We just have to be a little bit sensitive to the reality, right? Okay.
exactly.
With your permission, during the break, I came up with an acronym for your short name, Ira. Can I share it with you?
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Inspiration reawakens action.
I love it, Barry. Man, I need to be on here once a month to get my Barry fix. You are awesome.
Wow. Thank you. I want to speak a little bit more about you and Jennifer and the marriage, and just two pieces that we didn't really talk about in your journey, let's say, to Nashville. Because wasn't this that you left North Carolina and you went to Nashville? In Nashville, something magical happened. In addition to the fact that you were struggling to pay rent and eat, you
Oh,
met, you met some amazing people. In
well,
particular,
I've been, it's crazy. You can't make this up. You can't write this story. I came to town. I had a old Chevette with no floorboard in it, and no heat. And then the wintertime, I used to fill up a milk jug and put it in the microwave and get it hot and put it in my lap because I had no heat. And I was playing this little club called the Bell Cove Club for $30 a night. And I befriended this kid about my age, and people told me, that's Johnny Cash's son, but he never like talked about it. And we formed a band together, and we played this band at Bell Cove on Wednesdays. And I was talking to him one day, and I was like debating whether to go back home and beg for my maintenance man job back in North Carolina. And he said, "Why don't you come over for lunch?" And I remember driving up in my little Chevette with no floorboard in it, and I walked up to this beautiful house on the lake, and the screen door was propped open by a Grammy. There was an old Grammy with cobwebs on it, and I'm like, "What the heck's going on?" I knock on the door, and Johnny Cash answered the door. He's still living with his parents, and Johnny and June were there, and June said I was the stray dog they fed that wouldn't leave, and I ended up sleeping on a couch for $200 a month to live in, pretty much staying at Johnny and June and John Carter's house. And they had multiple houses. So we'd stay there for a while, and then we'd go to the house in Bon Aqua for a while. And Johnny became uh, another one of, I mean, he was a mentor to me. He listened to my songs. He told me, what to rewrite, and let me open up some shows with him. And of course, I owe that to John Carter. I mean, John Carter was just, I can't say enough about. Matter of fact, when we got married, me and my wife got married. We got married in Jamaica. Johnny Cash and June had a house in Cinnamon Hill, Jamaica, that I used to go out there and spend Christmases at. And when my wife said, "Where do you want to get married?" I said, "I know where true love lives," because I watched Johnny and June act like a couple little schoolboy and girls, finishing each other's sentences up there. And so I called John Carter and I said, "I want to get married at your mom and dad's old place in Jamaica." And he said, "I can make that happen." And so he did the ceremony. He married me and my wife up there in the backyard of Cinnamon Hill, Jamaica, and we all of our friends and family flew out there, and it was a, I can't ask for a more beautiful wedding. It was perfect.
the good Lord is perfect. Uh, this has been so uplifting and wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit loath to say the words I'm about to say. We're coming to a close on our time together. And I have 3 quick questions for you. Ira Dean, are you ready?
Yes, sir, Barry. Bring it.
Number 1, will you come back again?
In a heartbeat. Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
That's better than a yes. I like that.
I was hoping you would ask.
Look, by the way, ASK is a great acronym. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Always seek kindness.
I like it.
Woo! Okay. Number 2 question. Ira Dean, great fellow that I love. You have only 80 seconds to answer this question. What is your most fervent desire?
Well, what's fervent mean? What's my biggest desire? What's my passion desire?
And you can't live without it. Must happen.
Oh God. It's got to happen in my career or happen. This is a difficult question for me. I tell you what, my passion right now is life, my wife, music, and staying close to the man upstairs. That's all I want to do.
Not much better in life.
I mean, is that
music?
I just want to stay in love. Music, anything to do with music. If I can just keep connecting with people, it beats laying on a couch paying a shrink $200. I write songs. I like to get that out, and my wife she's amazing. I don't want to ever be without my wife, music, and the man upstairs. I'm golden. Those are my passions.
Okay, music, marriage, man upstairs. And number 3 question. May I give you a hug in front of 529,817 people around the world?
Yes.
Can I give you a hug? Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
That was a good one, Barry.
You're listening to The Joy of Living with your host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, an amazing Ira Dean. But I got to tell you something really important. This show is not about Ira. Great guy that he is. This show is not about Barry. Fabulous fellow that he is. This show is about you. You. You becoming the best you. Because when you are the best you make the world a better place and build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. Remember the 3 fundamentals of life. Life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad. Mad stands for like Ira. He's a madman. Make a difference. Number 3, uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms such as WWW, what a wonderful world. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day. As my 80-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in like Ira did. He went through the demons and the angels and look where he is now. So you want to create causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. And when you do that, you'll be able to internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and your trajectory. Use 4-letter words, but the kind that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Love, life, hope, play, free, give, swim, and tell the world to F you. Capital N, put a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face. Say that, and you'll get people's attention. And when you do that, then you can share with what we've been talking about today. Love and life and grow and joy and happiness and peace. And so a prayer for wonderful Ira and Barry. And that prayer is go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Ira, don't go away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.